Before we dive in, here's a sneak peek at what we are about to tackle. Getting that new project up on Notion, setting up all the key pages, brief and strategy, prototype access, assets gate, third-party services list, payment information, and tutorial videos. We're gonna figure out how the project timeline works and how to keep everything on track without losing your mind. Sorting out the steps of your project so you know exactly what needs to be done and when. So you've got a new client on board. Now let's get down to business and add this project to our workspace. We're gonna add a new project. We will work through the process step by step, making sure you know what each part is about. First of all, let's go in our project page. Here you can see different things, a timeline and a project list. We can add a new project. We're gonna stay with our example, Greenpeace. It's an upcoming project. In upcoming, the global price, let's say 30,000, freelance budget 0. The payment for the moment is not done. On the team, it's Alex and Bahrain. Freelance team, there is no one. Timeline, it's, let's say 2 months. So from 4 August till end time, check, for September, for October. And as you can see, because I give a timeline, my project have been added here. What you can do also here in your timeline is you can go here and set up the property. You can say, okay, who is working on this? You can also show the statue, and that's it. I think it's enough for this timeline. The project list is your main database called project list, and this, as you can see, if you go in the source of your database, it's project list, the source. So for that, again, to show you how I did, because it's important that you know to do by yourself, what I did is I did /timeline to create a new timeline, and I say, okay, I'm not creating a new timeline, I'm creating with the database of project list. And like that, up, I have Greenpeace here. And you can set filters, for example, sort by the statue ascending, timeline ascending. Just show me the project of this year. So for that, you say this year. And just show me the upcoming and in progress project in my timeline. Because here I just want to see what we have coming and on what we are working. But for example, here in the list of all the projects, I'm showing all the projects we want, the upcoming, the in progress, and the one done. Like that, you can see all what happened in 2024. Here you can see also, it was for another example. This is the upcoming and in process, and here you can see the past project. So it's the one that, if you check my filter, statue done or in standby, because sometimes it happens, and you can add a filter, another filter saying timeline. So here you can say start date before 31 December, like that. All the projects that start after the 1st January 2024 will not appear in the past timeline. You save for everyone, and like that you have different view. Now let's go in one project. So for a moment you have nothing. what you need to do is load a template. As you can see, it changed the icon. Just put it back. Now the whole template is loading. So once your template load, you can see the workspace of this project. So you have all the information we already filled up, and inside you have the essential pages. We will go through all these pages just after. You have the timeline of the steps of the project. First, before we dig into this, because this is the most important and the most complex, let me show you all these pages. Here you can find brief and strategy. This page, it's all the questions that you will ask to your client when you have the strategy call. It's important to have the list, like that you forget nothing, and it will bring you more confidence during your call. This page is prototype access. You will just share the Figma link of your project. For sure, you will invite the client on Figma, but just in case, the link is here, like that. No one need to ask you, hey, where's the link for Figma, or did you send me an invite? The link is here, just in case. Here is the assets gate. This is important. Don't start a project till the client drop all the assets he have. Why? Because if not, you will waste time and this project will become a mess. You need to drop all what he have. So that's why I create an assets gate, for example, brand book, logotype, typeface, images, videos, and everything. You can, of course, delay it if needed, because if you don't work with 3D or if the client don't have illustration. But if you need to drop your video, like you set this video task to provide it, and the client will also drop you the link where to access to the video here. Like that, when all the assets that you need are provided, okay, now you can start to work. Third-part service list. This page, it's a database with all the third-part service that need to provide you the client. It's important to have them at least before to start to develop, but the best is when you start the project, like that is done, and you don't lose the momentum because the client is ready at the beginning of the project. So you need to ask him to share all the access, for example, to MailChimp, to Zapier, to Make, and same. When it's provided, you update. Provided by what? By a Dashlane, by 1Password, or another password provider, and to who the access been provided. Also, it's a good way to show that you care about security and the client don't drop password on Slack, and this is really important. It shows so that you are a professional and you are not joking with security. So need to be provided by a password provider, and to who you give, you track to who you give the access. After you have payment information, this is a simple hub where you drop when the contract is signed. Do you drop the bill of the 50% upfront payment, you drop the 50% final payment, and you give your IBAN information, your bank account information. Like that, the client have everything, and there is no excuse for a late payment. Also, when a payment is done, don't forget to update the payment here. If the client paid the 50% upfront payment, you update the payment information here. After you have the tutorial video hub, this is the place where you will drop all the tutorial video that you will record for the client, or he can handle the website by himself. Depend of the needs he will have. You will record maybe 1, 2, 3 few videos. So you drop the embed here. Like that, everything is centralized, and the client will not annoy you on Slack asking you, where's the link of this video? Where's the link of this video? You share everything in the hub on Notion. And finally, you have the quote. The quote, it's the base of your project database, because this is where you will set up the timeline and the steps. I always have my quote with an introduction, presentation of the team, latest work, a timeline, and all the steps of the project. So let me go into this quote, Greenpeace. I'm not gonna edit the steps and do nothing for the moment, but just to show you, I'm gonna add for example, the first contact, and after the kickoff, and here you can set up the thing as you want. And because this is your main database called process and step, as you can see, this is a related timeline to the database projects and step. So if I change a date here, it updates here. So this is super important. I take off all these steps, delay, check. So we have the kickoff, first contact, let's say kickoff. Kickoff Friday. No worries, we will go through all of this in a dedicated chapter, just for the example. The strategy, the 5, after UX design, can start on this date, UI design here, another week, the responsive after, set up here, Webflow development, I've been too far, Webflow development, this is totally random, no worries, feedback and delivery, and on 13 September, billing access and promotion. So here you can see I set up my timeline. Inside the project steps, you can find all the steps of the project. So this is super cool because the client gonna have an overview of everything that's gonna happen during the project. Also, when you're gonna show the quote, this is impressive because you show that you handle everything and everything gonna be tracked. So the client gonna see that you are a safe bet, and this is important. So in our quote, we have we will go through, as I say, in a dedicated chapter with the cost, the agreement, signature, and the term of sales. But just to show you that because this is the main database, the quote, if I'm coming back in my project, Greenpeace, now, as you can see, the timeline of the project is updated with the progress. And here, you also, the steps are updated. So this is really cool because everything is linked. And you can find again your quote here. And the interesting thing is, for example, on the UX design phase, you can see that when a task is done, the parent task, for example, UX design, the progress is updating automatically. We will go through all this during a dedicated chapter when we sign the client. And also you can see the progress here. You can also assign task to someone or to a freelance. Here is a quick rundown of what we went through. We added our project to the workspace and got the lowdown on each part of the setup. We created essential pages to make sure that everything is in place and easy to find. We sorted out our timeline to keep the thing moving smoothly. And we tweak and set up our project step. By nailing down these basics, you are all set to manage your website project like a boss. Let's get cracking.